In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movement. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying anime. In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movement. We playing PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying animation.
How I'm living? Don't even ask. What I was given to complete my task. I'm moving slow, but my mind's moving fast. Wanna master ebb and flow, future, present, and the past. They say you don't need to know Allah's wisdom is too vast. Nothing to show, they wanna see what's in the stash. Can't see my growth while I've been wearing all these masks. Wanna hear a quote? First shall be last. Consider us the goats, true leader walks the path. Hope you taking notes, we do it on behalf. Don't need a vote, confidence is what I have. Chakras in my throat, express, perfect the craft. Wanna rock the boat, trying to stir up his rap. Everything they wrote, not true, you do the math. Huh? What? You do the math. Everything they wrote, not true, you do the math.
In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movement. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying anime. In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movement. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying animation.
Some are living in color, like the Wayans brothers. I'm living stress-free and stay given to others. Karmic credit abundant, only dead in my life, minus the free weather in winter days and nights. I'm living prophecy, Mars with eyes wide open. Carry out the prophet's law by seeing and knowing. Man knows not by being told, I stay showing. Living by example, ancestors live through candles and drink good. Shrine cups stay empty. I'm living what I study, but not what ones tell me. Willing, able, and ready. I live sturdy and steady, walking the path of life with a hero medley. Ancestral forces protecting my steps. Live life every day full, it's like there's no more left. Living it right, not wrong, in higher self, not lower self. With one life to live, you owe yourself.
In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying anime. In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We playing PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying animation.
Well, babe, proper person, that's for life, baby. I'm Meridian's the camp and I stand first lady. Hey, they will label me crazy, cause I had the baby. Refused to give him vaccines, maybe. I've been reading up on crack fiends lately. Don't blame me, cause the times are up on us to take back ownership of land. Who own us? Nobody. No more, you've been knocking on the wrong door. And you rocking with the wrong core. Revisit info, reliving what's more. Ish, square and compass, my forfeit. Black and white portraits remind me of why I never forfeit. Ancestors, not corpses. Third eye open, looking further than the culprits. Try to perpetuate on pulpits. I'm bringing back the postscript. Prophet you Ali never forced it.
In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying anime. In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movement. We playing PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying animation.
Reppin' thought? Why not? Sidelock, psilocybin until he gets homie by my side. So smooth the way this beat that I rock. American, not from Plymouth stock. Who is he that gave the key to pistol locks? We call him Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. Gave us the tools to help us set our minds free. From New Orleans, Mexico to Mali. He's that water in that deadly raw heat. Punch a nation, no small feat. No Euro step, no floor squeak. No disrespect to the Moorish work heat. Full crowd pack stands, sold out floor seats. Go for no less than 50K. 2 right, 5 left, don't deliberate. You know we come to liberate.
In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying anime. In full life, not civilly more tools. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, staying animation.
Try walk in my shoes and see where the journey go. You talk too rude, it's better you learn to us. It's mine too cool and I feel like to turn it up. The beat just dropped. The lyrics will burn it up. I'm tied to the land like road, flag red like rose. With a green 5-star, I demand my goals. Eyes open, never find them closed. Higher self, well spoken, what my mind exposed. Living with battle scars, I don't lie about those. I'm a rebel with a cause, catch me flying by slow. Get me level with the gods, overstand my flow. On the square with the laws, yeah, the wise man knows. To challenge jurisdiction, putting up strong resistance. The revolution here, we refuse to be the victims. Navigating L's, traveling, go the distance. I am my ancestors without doubts or contradiction.
In full life, not civilly more truths. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, stain anime. In full life, not civilly more truths. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, stain animation. Not living cause my heart beating. Resisting for a law beating. Man, status first, territorial next. It's not hard, don't make it complex. Man, not living cause my heart beating. Assisting for a law beating. Man, status first, territorial next. It's not hard, don't make it complex. Man.
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Moments so alive and dead status can't touch this. People getting mad, we giving them more truth. Look at my face if you really need more proof. Philly T, yo, I'm still at home. Northwest, the Mexum, the land I know. When y'all soon and she opened up the booth, stepped inside, dropped a little more
In
truth.
full life, not civilly more truths. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, stain anime. In full life, not civilly more truths. Get vexation when I'm digging up more proof. MD&N movements. We play PlayStation. Real, unreal, stain animation.
You know, Shinobi had to hop in the booth. Scoring 3 points, I got 23 on my shoe. I'm spitting fire in the booth. You know I'm sharp like a tooth. They always laughing, but I know that I got nothing to lose. 5 principles, you know what they are. Love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. All these haters can't touch us. All these lame ass niggas got me feeling too nauseous. Round me better be cautious, cause you know that I kill shit.
Pita, 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 pata. Step up to the plate, get time the next batter. Become the leaning rising as the feet get fatter. Watch me silent as the critics. So far them shatter. More bringing the peace. One longer them scatter. You them standing on the square. I'm in a circle on the shatter. More pretty no truth.
What is it that makes us proud? It's the things we make together and the places we go together. It's the people we lift up together.
Don't talk about it, talk about it, don't talk about it, talk about it, don't talk about it, talk about it, don't talk about, talk about, 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 don't talk about what you see behind closed doors. Don't talk about business that you know that ain't yours. Better not talk about what happened in '04, but you can talk about what you hear from Canaanland Moors. Bet you won't talk about when you were on all fours. The times you wanted to experiment, explore. Most don't talk about the childhood they endured. It's psychological, need I say more? But all you do is talk shit. Yeah, I know that you're bored. Talk all you want about me, been learning to ignore. Don't talk about facts if you know you ain't sure. Let's talk about the reasons why we can't stop wars. Don't talk about it, talk about it. Don't talk about it, talk about it. Don't talk about, talk about, don't talk about, talk about, don't talk about, talk about, don't talk about, talk about. We don't talk about the trees and how you invaded our shores. Disease for every season, let's talk about the cures. You don't want to talk about the properties of ore, the minerals and elements and what it's used for. Oh, don't talk about that, it's organic and pure. Talk about how the apple rottens you to the core. We'll talk about how radiation seep through the pores. All we do is talk about the bloodshed and gore. Don't talk about it, talk about it, don't talk about it,
Talk about it. Talk about Yeah, talk a good game, but I leave it on the floor. Talk some respect on my name before your skull get poor. And I PVR that shit, so don't talk about the score. Some say I talk too much, but I never stop talking. That I assure. Don't talk about waking up the line if you don't want to hear it roar. No need to talk about the time she was acting like a whore. Well, let's talk about that thing on your neck right before I let you draw my split. That's looking like a sword. You could wait on the tail or twist this side or yeah, you better talk quick. Trust won't be restored. Don't talk about the plans of what we got in store. Then let me hear you talk sideways about my boy Jam McGlure. Huh? My boy Jam McGlure. Don't let me hear you talk sideways about my boy Jam McGlure. What? Do your chores.
I know who this nigga's talking to. I know you ain't talking to me. You keep me talking to me, cause you think you're high and mighty. Who you to tell everybody what to do? Or who to tell me? You judge, jury, and executioner. I know I talk when I want to talk. I do, say, talk, speak when I want to speak. How, when, what, why? Don't tell me what to do, nigga. You don't know me. Who the motherfucker you think you is? You can't talk to me.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Well, we're getting there. This BS. Islam Moors, peace and love. We're here. Canaanland Moors, Tuesday. Don't forget, study, study, study. It's most important right now. Peace and love to all the Moors, wherever they are. Want to give you honors for being Moors, not playing around like you don't know who you are. So we have a few, as usual, just put Noble Drew Ali in the right perspective so people could stop thinking some group or whatever and realize that man brought your salvation, do something with it or not, and pretty much that's it. Whatever else is up to you. It's your birthright. We're just administrators. That's all. We got the sovereign power from the people, not the members of the Moorish Science Temple or whatever. From the people. That's where we get it. All the GS and SGS and RRL and all the different titles that people want to have and all the different chambers they went through and all that stuff. No matter. Remember, as soon as they have a title, they become obligated to assist the people because the people made that title be something. The nation is why there's grand sheiks, not Noble Drew Ali. The nation is why there's grand sheiks. The nation is why there's grand governors. That's not because of Noble Drew Ali. That's because that's government. And he was creating our own jurisdiction. Same stuff Moors are crying about why we don't have it today. Do you understand we are our own jurisdiction? The Noble Drew Ali is the man. And anybody who's trying any BS with what he brought, shame on you. Shame on you. Because they end up being Just like the people who killed the prophet don't want to give him his honors, but want theirs. Let me tell you something. Even amongst Moors, the problem is nationality. Everybody wants to try to own that. Can't own that. It's like somebody can't tell you what to do because you know where you know where you went to be where you're at to know that you're a Moor. Nobody can tell you anything. All right, it goes both ways. I get told stuff. Mothers rip me. I played some BS. Don't play games with me. Don't play games with me. So the elders' feet that we sat at, don't play games. The common theme amongst everybody is that this is the people's. This is the people's. Why? Because they're part of the nation. Why wouldn't it be theirs? Now, if they want to go be a dumbass with it, that's up to them. Right? And the reason why we're showing the hat and not showing the face, because 3 Olmecs with feathers on, you need to see that before you see me. So you can get the point. Stop being a dumbass. Show a face of something. Show a face of what? For what? Look how much videos we got. You think this is the first time we're going on here and I'm not, because some conspiracy, whatever, not show a face or something like that? No. Promotion, promo the hat. Just look it up. Hat with the 3 Olmec heads. Oh, see? Exactly. That's why F you and you get to watch the hat instead of see my face. Perfect example of why F showing you the face. You get to watch the hat all night. We'll even get closer for you. All night. That's all you get. That's all you get. Make sure you look in the eyes. Make sure you look in the eyes. This is all you get all night. You just play to yourself all night. That's all you're getting. Nothing else. We'll do whatever we have to do to accommodate you getting this all night. Everybody else, thank, where do you go? Jay White. Thank Jay White for giving you this all night. Now you messed it up for everybody. See how you deal with that. Because you want to interrupt the teacher. Come in some chat you don't even know anything about going on in there. And you're just interrupting stuff with BS in the chat before you ask some Moors some questions about this or whatever. You want to see some face or something. And then you're going to say, Olmecs are not Moors. You get to watch the hat all night. You look at the ancestors, look at you all night. You're going to turn this off and go to sleep. I have nightmares tonight. You know what nightmares you're going to have tonight? You know how many? Tonight, they're going to get you playing around. Tonight, just remember, tomorrow, come on the live and let us know how your dreams were. Ancestors don't play. All night. All night. You're getting them. All night. This is what you get. This is what, yeah, the 3 wise men nightmare. You worried about some Freddie and Jason? You don't worry. Shango got you tonight. Playing around. Playing damn games. Like you really don't know, huh? You really don't know. I know you don't know. I know you don't know. I know you don't know. You're gonna find out tonight. You're gonna find out. Right? All that just to show you that we're Moors. We're not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian. We're not the African guys that came over here on the slave ship and all that. We're not the guys who helped Columbus and whatever like that. And the Ferdinand and then we worked with the European and then we came over here and then we killed Indians and all this BS. The hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. This is what it's all about. Feather and all for all you punks, all you Indians, all you pouch wearers. Where you think you get a pouch from? You think you got a pouch around your waist because you? There's some Gucci or whatever? Nobody Jolly Ben had the pouch. There's a pouch right there. What are you talking about? You want the purse? You want everybody to have the purse? Nobody Jolly Ben had the purse. So you guys got purse now, and you're not repping for Noble Jolly? Traders, all of them. If purse is the new thing and pouch is the new thing, and then Noble Jolly had a pouch in the 1920s, what are you talking about? The hell are you? Who are you? How is it? Think about this, right? Think about this. You're talking about Moors make up history. The fact that you're saying the term Moors, the fact that you're saying the name Moors, the fact that you're saying the appellation Moors, the fact that you're saying the identification Moors, the fact that you're using that word lets you know about the history of the Moors. FOH. And it's crazy you went to history. You know why? Because you're trying to let you learn, or you're trying to let everybody else learn, and you just look like a dumbass in here today. Because this is what we were going to read. Since you're talking about Moors history and all that stuff, this is what we were going to read, Jay White. Moors leaders' historical message to America. This is Noble Drew Ali telling you what's up, since you are to talk about some history. And think about this. Keep this in mind. Majority of people who are on this that never heard about Moors or whatever, you're hearing about Moors for the first time or whatever, right? What we're reading to you is literature from inside the Moorish movement that you Negro, Black, whoever's, you have nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. This is all Drew Ali. This is all Drew Ali. This is all what the Black leaders never told you, ever. Never read anything, never showed you a picture, anything of Noble Drew Ali. But he has these type of writings in the 1920s, and you know about everybody else, including traders and sellouts from back then, but you rep them. But Noble Drew Ali, who you never heard about, you're not gonna ask no questions. In connection with the aims, objectives, rules, and regulations of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization, covering its inception, rise, and progress of the Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you and be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. This is 1920s. This man just wrote an article, gave you your salvation. You miss it because you're a Negro, you're Black, you're from Africa, and you're talking about all this other BS and missing the point. You're seeing the fruit and not realizing it's the seeds, because you can take those and then have more fruit. It's really about the seeds, not the fruit. The bigger picture, nobody told you about this. This is what he's presenting to you. I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization, covering its inception, rise and progress of the Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you and be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. Mankind in general. Generally speaking, at all times, we should be adhering to these principles. Generally speaking. Just remember, this is just a brief statement. This is not, you know what I mean? You're walking in the door and you're sitting in there for like 20 hours. This is just an article. Look where he goes with this article. For the salvation of the people who at that time, remember, this is the 20s. So they don't know about anything else. They just came out of slavery and all that stuff, right? Emancipation Proclamation and all the stuff like that, and playing that game. And then the Indians getting together doing treaties with Europeans and all this. This whole game of getting you to not really see the bigger picture. Keeping you tunnel vision instead of global. I further most anxiously hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of at all times upholding these fundamental principles, which are desired for our salvation of our posterity, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. I give you everything that it takes to save a nation in a paragraph. Remember, this is just a brief statement. This is not really nothing. This is just to get the attention of those whose attention could be got because they understand from a certain level where he's coming from. We in 2020, that time frame, illusion, whatever, we're realizing that some of us are realizing that this inside information that we have about the history of the Moors is actually the missing piece of world history. That the avoidance of dealing with the Moors is something that goes so far back in time that it's only right that it be resurrected, because there was no need to fight it. There was no need to fight it. Why would we have to fight it? Remember, he's talking about the rise and progress of the Mohammedan religion, and he's talking about himself. Research the Mohammedan religion. And then if that goes back to just even being mentioned, now you have to start questioning these people who never told you about you being directly connected to the Mohammedan religion. Why? Because Mohammedans are Moors. That's why. And they're not Negro, black, color, or Ethiopian, or this is Turtle Island and all that BS. This is Morocco. Everything above Mexico, Morocco. Everybody else has their jurisdiction. These people who came over here from somewhere, and these people who say that they're the black Indians and whatever like that, have their whole jurisdiction, and they're not making any claims. Of just stand up for it. So you want land? Just say that this is Morocco, and then you have land. What's the problem? Oh, well, because, okay, forget it then. Because we're telling you as Moors that you miss Noble Drew Ali and what he brought. Right? You miss things. And the level that he was taking this was to cover every single base of our existence on this earth jurisdiction, where we would have our own and not necessarily have to go anywhere, just like anybody else. Who they got their own community or whatever, their own stores, their own signs on or whatever like that, their own stuff. When you go in there, you got to make your donation to that and all whatever. That has nothing to do with anybody else. How are they doing it? They got a nationality. Why are we doing it? We don't have a nationality. And the ones who have a nationality are trying to tell the other ones, let's just get a nationality so we can have some stuff. Look, everybody else has nationality. Look what they got. But nah, because then you're going to have to be Islamic and you're going to have to Allah because you heard them say prophet and you think that that means. The brilliance of what Noble Drawley brought and the negligence of the people who didn't tell you is mind-boggling when you actually get inside of this information. Not some building, the Moorish Science Temple. Oh, so I have to go there to learn about Moors. And I can't learn about Moors anywhere else but that place called Moorish Science Temple of America. Not really. Go to a library or whatever. What are you talking about? You go to the library, they'll tell you about Moorish Science Temple of America. What the hell are you talking about? And then that should verify something to you. But nah. Missing the whole thing. Missing it. And it's only getting worse. Because, you know, the more you stay in the dead status, the worse your consciousness is. The worse do you get. The more you don't fix the problem, the worse the problem gets. And trust me, I see it every single day that I know our people aren't doing anything to save themselves. They're waiting for somebody to come do something. Still. They were waiting for, however, forever. And all these people came and all these people followed them. They didn't look at this as their birthright. They look at it, some guy over there brought something for them, and now they're crowded around him like he's the whatever. They don't know that he's sucking all their energy and all that. Playing them. And them not getting their birthright. The amount of millions these people put to go into some lecture. See some debate of something. And all these people pocketed. They didn't build one institution. Think about the years. Think about the years about debating BS, debating the Moors, debating the whatever. And then they stream or whatever the debate. And then they have a building, and then they charge at the door, sell tickets or whatever like that, and places packed, balconies packed because everybody wants to see this debate. And it's not the people who put, you know, this is on everybody. That nobody said, hey, let's take this money and build something. Like we just made 50 grand in a night. We know some Moors right now. We can go make some claims on some houses right now. Build our own community. Nah, they didn't do that. They want their own community, they want their own stuff. But when it's time to do the work, playing around. All for selfish gain. Like you go tell some European 12 grand or whatever for a lecture. You don't do that to other Moors. You don't do those ones. Yeah, you deserve whatever it is you say anybody should pay. But if you're talking crazy to some group of people who just want to know something, they just want some information, and you got the jacuzzi and all that type of stuff in your room and all that for some lecture, and nobody got anything. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it right now. You know how crazy it is in high schools right now with regard to our people. and how they're dealing with, the system and all that stuff. And then other nations who got nationalities and how they do it. And nationality works. They have no issues. Zero issues. And if they do get in trouble or whatever, of course, the racism and whatever. But no, he got A's. Like, why would he get in trouble? He has A's. He has A's. So they're not racist because your dumbass wants to do dumb stuff and they study their books. Which again was study. Because Noble Drew Ali, he said that in the 20s. How come people not studying today still? How come you don't know that Noble Drew Ali brought you something? You're talking about some religious whatever. Right? We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year 1925. Think about 1925 in all your research that you've done. Think about 1925 and things that happened in the 1900s. From the 1900s to 1930. Think about the atmosphere. Here come this Moor organizing a temple of science for people who look like Negro black color people. Like these people know, remember this is 1920s. And we had all the examples, Black Wall Street and Harlem Renaissance and all these things. We had all these reference points of showing us in a position of self-governance. Guarantee you they weren't doing that as Negro, black, colored, and Indians. Whether they said the white status, whether they said Moors, whether they said even Israelite. If they were separating themselves from the white-black game, and then you have examples of, oh, well, if you want to go to the store as a Negro or whatever, just put a turban on, and then you can go anywhere because they'll think you're one of the Moors. And then people actually do that to get out of slavery. And you're not paying attention to what's going on? Remember, 1920s. Just keep in mind, 1920s. Remember, there's no black whatever right now. There's no Kemetic whatever. There's none of that right now. Right? Penetrate that. All the schools of thought, whatever that you see right now, there was none of those going on in the 1920s. We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois, November 29, 1926. Right? So it's something that's incorporated. It's an organization, it's civic, right? It's under the laws of the state. That at the time, the state would have been constitutional. So of course, the laws of the state. They're not violating the rights. They're not stopping us from they're not treating us like those Negroes over there. They're not firebombing our stuff. So what was the difference? nationality. Remember, this is 1920s. And this man is telling people that they have a nationality in the 1920s. And he's exercising with his. That 1913 to 1925, 26, the amount of activity that was going on with Moors. Negro get his little pass, go into the bushes, find the turban that got left, wrap their head up, and then walk off the plantation. And nobody not questioning, hey, where are you, who are you, where are you going, or whatever like that, just because of a turban. So you're not doing this with something illegal or some anti-government. And 1920s, this was registered. What are you talking about? BIE and whatever. BIE for what? They didn't say BIE in the 1920s when he started this. What are you talking about BIE when you talk about Noble Drew Ali now? Who you fooling? Spark didn't even touch this. It wasn't even a thought for the person who ever wrote the BIE to be in existence when Noble Drew Ali was around. But they're connecting Moors to some anti-government whatever. When you go to Cooks County, Illinois, right now they got stuff in there about Noble Drew Ali and Moorish Science Temple. I thought that's anti-government. If it was anti-government, they wouldn't be having that stuff there. The name Moorish Temple of Science changed to Moorish Science Temple of America in accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. So the first thing was under the state of Illinois. And then the Moorish Science Temple of America was under the Secretary of the State of Illinois. This is what we were talking about earlier, about him covering all the bases. Him setting us up in every jurisdiction. The civic jurisdiction, we have something, Moorish Temple of Science. That any civic activity goes through that. Moorish Science Temple of America, that's the corporate, that's the municipality. The Moorish, all the members are citizens of U.S.A, which is Unity Salvation Allah, which is what Moors are about. So that's the jurisdiction. You have a card that says you're part of that jurisdiction, which means that that's the jurisdiction. On a corporate level, on a city level. Look, think about Moorish Science Temple of America, like city of whatever. And since instead of Moorish Science Temple of, think city of. And then think about every place that there's a Moorish Science Temple of America, that's actually the Moorish city. And then that is in a bigger jurisdiction that you're given as a mandate in your Holy Quran when he talks about the jurisdiction of the Moorish Empire. So you always have your Quran on you if you're a Moor, because that's the mandate to the land. Egypt, the capital of the dominion of the Moorish Empire. Every level, he had this thing locked down. I think about that. So, Moorish Science Temple of America is the city. Moorish Temple of Science is the state. Moorish Divine and National Movement is the umbrella corporation. Same how they have their stuff set up. The same way that their stuff is set up. Just remember that Moorish Divine and National Movement was never incorporated. So it's not corporate like that. But it's the umbrella that houses all the different subsections that create this jurisdiction that these individuals with these cards and they dress a certain way is in. And then that's only for them because they're part of that. And anybody who wants to, they could join anytime. You know what I mean? Turn people away or nothing like that. You want to get yourself back in the proper position? Study what Noble Drew Ali brought you. Because he told Moses, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. You're not going to save yourself with it. You're going to play around. You're waiting for somebody to come. Noble Drew Ali Part 3 to come or something like that. Oh, that's what you're waiting for. He already came and left. You missed the boat. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teaching those things necessary to make our members better citizens. Right? Make the members better citizens because the Moorish Science Temple of America is the municipality. He mirrored their system to take it over. Got as far as having Oscar the Priest in office because of Moors. You know how many people had to be part of this for them to get Oscar the Priest to win? Remember 1920s, huh? Remember 1920s. And then remember also Great Depression. And then all the things that he prophesied that, you know, as soon as the European falls, everything's going to fall right into the hands of the Moors. Why? Because they're going to already have all their stuff set up. They're going to have their municipality that's going to do the garbage and whatever. They're going to have their federal government that's going to handle all the bigger things. And then they're going to have the Moroccan Empire back again. And this side would have been the new Granada. The new stronghold, Chicago, and look where Chicago is on the map and all that. It's just these bastards that sold us out to be where we're at today. That Moors can't get stuff together. You know what I mean? Moors are good Moors and they're trying hard, but you know what I mean, they have vices and they might, you know what I mean, do something crazy to a mother just because, you know, that's psychological. There's damage that has been done and everything is correctable with the program that Noble Drew Ali presented. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens, making them transition from the corporate jurisdiction into starting to take responsibility because you have to take responsibility. And again, going back to this idea of him setting up all the different jurisdictions of a government for Moors to have. This is what people have taken away from you. Have you now penny pinching with your own trying to survive? Yeah, support our own or whatever like that. You nobody really talking like that who has nationality. Nationality, what they have is for everybody. Everybody come to us to get your whatever. They're not talking about, oh yeah, only our people come to us to get the whatever. No, they want everybody to come because, and then whatever they get, then that's when they turn inside and say, oh yeah, no, this is ours. They don't go to their own, they don't rape their own to try to survive. Right? He had this thing locked down. Remember the different levels. Right? A national organization with a Rotarian complexion as it relates to branch temples became obvious with the increasing number of inquiries from men and women in different sections of the country concerning the purpose of the organization. So this national organization had branch temples. Remember, the duty is uplifting fallen humanity and teach the necessary to be better citizens. Now, that wasn't just where Noble Drew Ali was. That was across the land. So it was a national organization. It wasn't limited to where Noble Drew Ali was. National or with a Rotarian complexion, which goes back to humanity. And then he already said that the duty of it is uplifting fallen humanity. So obviously it's going to be Rotarian. And then when you're looking at this national association with a Rotarian complexion or whatever like that, that's where you see that YMCA stole your stuff and the lodges stole your stuff, because that's what those things are, unions. All these things come from this national organization with a Rotarian complexion concept. That you have a humanitarian organization, right? That's what they did with the UN. The UN is a corporate national Rotarian complexion organization. You know, human rights and whatever like that. All that is what Noble Drew Ali brought. That people jacked. Because remember, the increasing inquiries from men and women would only be us. Because he was specific to that. This is for those people who are classified Negro, Black, colored. And in the 1920s, they were inquiring about this. To the point where he had to tell you that there are branch temples in 15 different states at this time. So when I'm telling you in the 1920s about, yeah, you know, people are inquiring about this, I'm not talking about just where I'm at. I'm talking about in other jurisdictions. Which is now when we go to what Noble Drew Ali said, you know, with eyes wide open and all that stuff, right? And we fast forward, we realize that, you know, that's what, for example, RV Bay Publications is doing in this time. Filling a massive void. A concentrated place where all Moors could go to study, to know what this is about. Because obviously somebody wasn't doing that. Obviously, it wasn't being done. Right? Empress Verdiashi, like speaking of from a Moorish perspective, reinvigorating this direct energy that we're dealing with right now. So remember, when there are branch temples in 15 different states, and he's talking about this increasing number of inquiries from men and women across the country through these branch temples that he has that are obviously contacting with the major temple. Because Juali is the head of the major temple. Now again, look at it from the perspective of this is government. This is not some religious organization because it says religious organization. Just like when you look over there and you say, oh yeah, we're the governor or whatever. They're not government or whatever. They're a corporation. Just like Moorish Science Temple. So they're a corporation and they're saying they're municipal. Then why can't we just say that we're municipal? Why can't our corporation be municipal? And then that's our own jurisdiction. Remember, he had that lockdown. Like it was already locked down. 1920s, yo, he had this thing locked down. Remember, Oscar the Priest was congressman. Like they were moving in. Yo, he's moving in. Look, we have to do it since we have the thing. Since we have the share again. Let's do it then that way. Because when you really think about what they were doing in the 1920s, right? Right before Noble Drew transition. He's in office. The Oscar the Priest is in office as congressman, right? There's manufacturing companies, community centers. You know what I mean? They're saying that there was fisheries, all types of Moorish businesses, right? All types. Yeah, I want to find a good one. Let's just. We're good there. All right. So in this picture right here, you know, that's so Juali is in the top center. Now think about what's going on here. The profound nature of what's going on. Noble Juali is center. He's there with Oscar the Priest, who is about to be or is already congressman. We're talking about somebody was in. Like somebody was in. Somebody was in. Because he had this soul locked. Now, they're saying that to the left of Drew Ali, to the right of Drew Ali, is Jesse Binger. And he was millionaire realtor in the 1920s. This is who was around Noble Drew Ali. So when you're hearing Moorish Science Temple of America and you're limiting this to some watered down jurisdiction, Noble Drew Ali did all of this for you. Did all this for you. Just so that you can free yourself. Since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation, and an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed in Cook County Recorder's Office in Illinois. Now, he takes this religious organization now. Remember, we're talking about the different levels that he's locking down. So when you look at Moorish Science Temple of America, from the religious, because remember, there's the Moorish Science Temple of America, just Secretary of State of Illinois. That's one Moorish Science Temple. Since the work of Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious because of the state of the people at the time, not being really ready for what this was really about, he changed it to a religious organization within a corporate jurisdiction. But he didn't go put it under the Secretary of State of Illinois. He went and filed it in Cook County Recorder's Office. He created it in a totally different jurisdiction than the quote-unquote state. He did it with the county for a reason, which is why it used to be so easy for Moors to just take their paperwork, go to the county, file it, and everything good, because Drew Ali's name is already in there. What are they going to refute? How are they going to tell you you can't file some papers when the founder of your organization filed papers? Since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation, and an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed in the Cook County Recorder's Office of Illinois. Recorder's Office. Right? This is a totally different jurisdiction now. Right? Inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran, we have it. We have it as the revealed word of God Allah. Inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran, we have it as the revealed word of God Allah. We shall foster the principles of its teachings among our members. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution. Now, you know, as soon as he says Quran, what he's talking about, what lofty teachings he's talking about. He's talking about the Quran that he brought for the Moors. And it's the revealed word of God Allah to those who studied those lessons, those lofty teachings. And we have fostered those principles of the teachings among ourselves and people who we know, other Moors. And that is exercising our religious privilege as American citizens, because we're in America, we're Moors. We're in America, we're Moors, and we're part of our own jurisdiction that we even have our own holy book. Now, if we have our own religious corporation, Moorish Science Temple of America is not only a Moorish corporate government, but it's also a Moorish Vatican. Where we'll be able to have a vault and keep all the teachings of, you know, our foremothers and forefathers, instead of Europeans holding it. The Mohammedan religion is the least appreciated and probably the most misunderstood of the world's great religions. This is especially true in our Western world. Try to understand what Mohammedanism stands for and some of the things it contributed to the world. The Mohammedan religion is the least appreciated and probably the most misunderstood of the world's great religions. This is especially true in our Western world. I thought the West was some Europeans. I thought Farrakhan and those people told you that the West is evil and all that. If the West is evil, then how come Noble Drawley is talking about our Western world? Did they jack that from him too? Because people want to play games with your birthright? Think about that. He has writings saying that the Western world is ours. He has a Moorish municipality set up. There's all these different manufacturing companies, whatever under that. He has Moorish Young Men's Business League, where all the manufacturers of the companies, every whatever day, they got their whatever that they go to teach the apprentices who are going to be the next generation of the whatever to take over the stuff for our nation. You have the Moorish Temple of Science that's dealing with the Civic whatever. So you got judicial jurisdiction there, and anything to do with jurisprudence, that jurisdiction deals with that. So there's courts for that, and there's whatever, but it's all Moorish. Right? Try to understand what Mohammedanism stands for. Like the level that he was taking this. Was supposed to be parallel with people who you see today that say that they've been around for 100 years or whatever, and they have this much stuff. All right, same thing that should have been with us. And our own people. Our own people who saw what was being done and where he was going with this. Did what they did. Muhammad was the founder of the Mohammedan religion. It originated 13 centuries ago on the Arabian Peninsula, where the streams of commerce and culture met and mingled in the Middle Ages, where the markets of exchange were stationed for treasures of India and the products of the Mediterranean coast. There, this religion was established in the unprecedented short period 20 years, and unlike many other religions, without the aid of any royal patronage and support. Buddhism had its Osoka. Judaism, its Joshua. Christianity, its Constantine. But Mohammedanism had no person of royal rank and power to assist in its establishment and spread. Now again, how come Buddhism had its Ahsoka, Judaism had its Joshua, Christianity had its Constantine? How come Christianity didn't have its Jesus? How come Christianity didn't have its Christ? Remember what he's talking about. Since the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation in order to accommodate the increasing number of inquiries from men and women in different sections of the country concerning the purpose of the organization. Because majority of them coming in were Christian. Now they have him telling them that Christianity is not Jesus, that's Constantine. And obviously you go do your research and you find out that, yeah, that's true. Immediately you want to find a new religion. No, God is gonna whatever. So now the religion is Islamism. And they're embracing it through the Mohammedan religion, which we're going through right now. Today, the religion is acknowledged by nearly 250 million souls and extends over an area equal to 1/3 of the globe. From Arabia, it spread eastward over Persia, Turkestan, Afghanistan, westward across Syria, Asia Minor, Turkey, southward to Africa, covering more than half of that continent. It found its way to India, beyond to the islands of Sumatra, Java, and Borneo. To the early representatives of this faith, the world's debt is incalculably great. To the early representatives of this faith, the world's debt is incalculably great. So they know that they owe our foremothers and forefathers because of what we gave to the world as the dark-skinned people on the planet. Everybody knows we're the first everything. So the world's debt is great to us, right? Because remember, these same Mohammedans, these same dark-skinned people, it was they who transmitted the treasures of Greek literature from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance. They who originated the graceful forms of which the Taj Mahal and the Alhambra are the most famous examples. It was they who contributed to the sciences of algebra and chemistry and astronomy and medicine. They who dotted the Saracen Empire with universities and who built at Baghdad and Cairo the most renowned universities of the world. During those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, when the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities, save those that were theological, causing the talent that reproduces to supplant the genius that creates. Mohammedans did all in their power to encourage and stimulate research in every branch of human inquiry. In every branch of human inquiry. The Moors, or Mohammedans, added to the beauty and grandeur of Spain. Remember back here he's talking about centuries ago on the Arabian Peninsula, where the streams of commerce and culture met and mingled in the Middle Ages, and the markets of the exchange were stationed for treasures of India. And you could hear the little music playing in the background and all that. He's telling you that the Moors are these Mohammedans. That for centuries, art, science, literature, and chivalry flourished among them, which is really you. While the rest of Europe was still sunk in the gloom of dark ages. For centuries, our ancestors ruled. And when we rule, arts, sciences, literature, all these things were flourishing. The Moors were the most ingenious and industrious of the subjects of Spain. And look how much he's teaching you. Look how much he's teaching you. The Moors were the most ingenious and industrious of the subjects of Spain. Their expulsion from Spain in 1610. Did they tell you that Moors expelled in 1492? Where he get 100 years from? How is he talking about expulsion 1600s? Their expulsion from Spain in 1610 was one of the chief causes of decadence of that country, for both agriculture and industry fell into decay after their departure. So after these Moors or Mohammedans, departed because of their expulsion, whole place fell into decay. The whole place fell into decay. Now we're going to look at his explanation of, what it was that this Mohammedanism brought. And, it brings the question, then why expel these people? Like, if they did all this, and then as soon as you get rid of them, your place falls into decay, then obviously you shouldn't have got rid of them, or you are who your ancient foremothers and forefathers were. And certain things just don't resonate. Learning and living, clean and all this just doesn't resonate with some people. They have their right to be in the dark ages. That's what they want. If they want to be in the dark ages, then what are you gonna do? Go in the dark ages with them? Or are you gonna govern self? Mohammedanism makes no distinction between high, low, rich, and poor. It is like the sky. It has room for all. The Quran should be of interest to all readers. It is the Bible of the Mohammedans, ruling over the customs and actions of over 200 millions of people. It is a work of importance, whether considered from a religious, philosophical, or literary viewpoint. In the promotion of plans for the betterment of mankind, there has ever been some kind of opposition. And strange as it may seem, such opposition has come from sources where there were no ideas or the lack of courage to force attention to ideas. Whether in the church, state, or the social community, any attempt to do anything out of the unusual way seldom fails to receive criticism. Not because the course cannot be pursued legally or that it is unreasonable, but because it has been considered in terms of new. Is that the same thing that people are doing today? Say this man's not a prophet? This is the same thing people do today when we present this to them. Oh, well, that's new, so I don't want to. Remember, this is 1920s. All these guys wearing suit and tie and whatever, and then all of a sudden these people coming out with silks and all that. Where are they getting silks from? Or the costume shop that sells the Moroccan clothes or whatever. Costume shop. So these people are going and renting costumes for everyday use, for real. So they're in a circus, and they only get costumes from the one place. Or do they have their own stuff so they don't have to go to no damn shop? No, this is what people are doing today. And strange as it may seem, such opposition has come from sources where there were no ideas or the lack of courage to force attention to ideas. The people who are having the ideas are being opposed by the ones that have no ideas. Never brought anything to the table, but they want input. They want to give input. How you giving input and you never brought anything to the table? What are you talking about? Like everybody else did their laps. Like, what do you mean you're coming in and you just pass you the ball? You better go do your laps and do your suicides and stuff. You're behind about 500. Whether in church, state, or social community, any attempt to do anything out of the unusual way seldom fails to receive criticism. Any attempt to do anything out of the unusual way seldom fails to receive criticism. Not because the course cannot be pursued legally or that it is unreasonable, but because it has been considered in terms of new. The Moorish Science Temple of America has received some opposition and criticism, qualifying the 2 points that he made before, right? Where he's fitting in. He's fitting in with the ones that are doing something unusual that you never seen before and you don't know what the hell this is. And he's doing something that people are going to think that this is some new thing. Where did this come from? Why are they dressed like that? What are those hats that they're wearing? Why are they wearing those hats? They're black. They're not supposed to dress like that. In the main, opposition has come from certain Christian ministers. They have expressed themselves as being opposed to our propagation of the Mohammedan religion. They have expressed themselves as being opposed to our propagation of the Mohammedan religion. The same one thing thought about the hat or whatever, but they're Prince Hall in the background. They're Prince Hall and they're talking about why are you guys wearing those hats and all that stuff. Remember, this is 20s. Keep in mind, this is 1920s. Right? Christian minister fighting Noble Ali for him telling these people that they're Moors. and give Christianity back to Europe and be Mohammedan. Tie yourself back to the history of the Moors. This is what Noble Drew Ali is telling you. I don't know what anybody else is telling you. They have expressed themselves as being opposed to our propagation of the Mohammedan religion, possibly because the promotion of the Mohammedan faith among our people in the United States is considered by them in terms of something new. Whatever the reasons may be for their opposition, the legal right to oppose citizens, individuals, and organizations alike for their religious belief does not exist in the United States. The door of religious freedom made by the American Constitution, not the United States Constitution, the American Constitution, not the United States of America Constitution, the America Constitution, swings open to all, and people may enter through it and worship as they desire. Without religious freedoms, no search for truth would be possible. Without religious freedom, no discovery of truth would be useful. Without religious freedoms, religious progress would be checked, and we would no longer march forward toward the nobler life which the future holds for the races of men. Without religious freedom, there would be no inspiration to lift our heads and gaze with fearlessness into the vast beyond, seeking a hope eternal. It is a sad weakness in us, after all, to oppose our fellow man for their religious beliefs. It is a sad weakness in us, after all, to oppose our fellow men for their religious beliefs. Like, there's all these people who don't want to whatever more because they're religious or Islamic or whatever. That's a sad weakness. Why you're not gonna get down with your nationality and birthrights? Because of some Islamic? Because of some Quran being said? You don't want to be part of your nation? It is a sad weakness in us, after all, to oppose our fellow man for their religious beliefs. And if there are angels who record the sorrows of men as well as their sins, they certainly know how many and deep are the useless sorrows that spring forth from such opposition. Possibly love and time will cancel our ancient hatreds in this regard and prove that in mankind, tolerance is better than unwarranted opposition. In connection with our religious aims and beliefs, we must promote economic security. The preaching of economic security among us is by no means as widespread and intensive as the circumstances demand. No other one thing is more needed among us at this time than greater economic power. Now remember, don't forget, Jesse Binger's already in. He's in. Oscar the Priest is in. When you go check the convention minutes and you see who the dignitaries are, right? Chancellors and whoever else of whatever organizations and universities and trade schools and all this. Dude are down with what Noble Drew Ali was doing. Right? there was what we could have today if our people were more into their own than some designer, whatever. From 5,000 or 8,000, whatever, for hair, and all these cars that they got parked up, could only drive one at a time. Got 20 cars and 500 shoes parked up with your 2 feet. You got 2 feet, 8 million shoes. You really think you're gonna wear all those? Like, you're really gonna wear all those? You wear all those just once, and still have ones left over. That, all right. Economic security. The preaching of economic security among us is by no means as widespread and intensive as the circumstances demand. No other one thing is more needed among us at this time than greater economic power, better positions for our men and women, better positions. Well, if we have companies in the 1920s, just Moorish Americans we're talking about, we have companies and all that. And he's talking about better positions. So we really had our own thing going on, to the point where we were even given our own jobs. If the millionaire of Chicago in 1920s was a brother, we're talking about 1920s, man had millions, brother. We were on our way somewhere. We were on our way somewhere. Better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls. You got to have businesses in order to have employment for boys and girls. So what do you mean? So hold on a second. So think about this now. So think about this. You have parents that work. You have parents that work. Every day they get up, go to work, give the children, remember 1920s, right? Get the children the food, they go to school, catch the bus, whatever. When they get to a certain age, those children are gonna go look for work. When those children are going to go look for work in their own community, where everybody who's a supervisor, manager, whatever, looks like them, employees look like them, you think they wouldn't be inspired? You know, when you got your first job, think about it in that context. But your first job wasn't McDonald's that was run by some Europeans. There's a Moorish version of that, a Moorish version of paper route, Moorish version of wherever it is that you claim you were going to go get a job. At least the people look like you. You had your own, they had their own job. When you go there, they got turbans and fezzes on. Moroccan flag on the wall in the back. But this is your job that you go to every day. How good will you work? How good will you work if you know that when you go to work, all you're seeing is Moors every day? Turbans and fezzes. Manufacturing company. Hey Frank, how you doing? Hey, but you got a turban on, fez on. Would you have was taking this to some next levels. Next levels. Better positions for our men and women. More business employment for our boys and girls. And bigger incomes will follow our economic security. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them, nor can they attain to a genuine enjoyment of the spiritualities of life. Oh, so life is spiritual. Oh, okay. Give you a little metaphysical gem in there. You know the prophet. This is divine and national. Right? A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them. Which again, if he's talking about better positions and all this stuff, he's sounding like he's about to run for something. He's sounding like he already won and this is his victory speech. And again, this is during the time when they're telling you it's gonna be Great Depression. How is it gonna be a Great Depression and he's talking about we need economic security? Isn't that very interesting that during the time of the Great Depression, before stock market crashed and all that, Noble Drew Ali was talking about and promoting economic security amongst Moors. Had a millionaire in. I knew is one. All the rest of them are gonna obviously jump on board. Because the biggest one was Jesse Binger. So if Jesse Binger was down, with the Moorish movement, Noble Drew Ali and all that stuff, we didn't have to worry about no economic depression. Because we'll be able to still get all our funding and all that stuff from Jesse Binger. Let's go research Jesse Binger. He was huge. Like super big time. Brother. Right, so beggar people. So we weren't some beggar people if we had Jesse Binger in the back. And again, if you're a beggar people, you're not going to attain to a genuine enjoyment of the spiritualities of life. Realize that life is spiritual. Life isn't some physical thing. And it's spiritualities. So the spiritualities of life. So there's many different spiritual existences that make up life. Our men, women, and children should be taught to believe in the capacity of our group to succeed in business in spite of trials and failures of some of them. Trials and failures in business are by no means confined to any particular group of people. He's telling you again, stop the racism BS. Well, we can't whatever because we were the slaves to the whatever and the European did this to us, and because they did this to us, we lost our mind and our culture and yeah, but nobody else is complaining. Everybody else got slavery. They're not still begging and waddling or whatever. Everybody else who was a slave, they're doing something. They're not sucks like our people. Complaining. Everybody who was any type of slave to somebody, anybody in the world, you go look them up. That they were enslaved, and where they are now, they're not enslaved anymore. Some business ventures of all people fail. We have many men and women among our people who are qualified, both by training and experience, who are shining lights in the business world of all the people. It is a sad weakness in us as a people that we have withheld the very encouragement, support, and patronage that would have made some of our worthy business ventures a grand success. So we had certain business ventures. We had certain business ventures where they could have been the greatest whatever it would have been. But because of the lack of support, it didn't do well. If something's a grand success, or if ventures are being told about from the perspective of it could have been a grand success, obviously ones were a grand success already. And again, somebody's playing games. And worst of all, have joined in the condemnations of them when they failed, except in cases of actual dishonesty, discourtesy, lack of service, and actual unreliability. Our business enterprises in every field of endeavor should have lulled of confidence, cooperation, and patronage wherever, whenever, and wherever they can be given. So regardless of how you could fit in and help, you should do that. However could you help? What could you do to make the Moorish movement, the Moorish Empire, be better? What is it that you could do? If you could do that, do it. You're doing it against in accord with the principles. You're looking at uplifting fallen humanity. All right, do it. Read carefully the doctrines of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It contains our hopes, aims, rules, and articles of religion. Every member should have a copy. In conclusion, I urge you to remember there is work enough for all to do in helping to build a better world. There is work enough for all to do. There's work enough for all to do. So you don't have to recreate the wheel.
You seen some Moors, actually, let me see if we can pull this up. We've seen some Moors out there. Moors really doing madness. It's just, what the hell is going on? What is going on? Like really questioning what is going on. Where is it at? Okay. This one. Um, So these Moors, right? There is work enough for all to do in helping build a better world, right? This is not making a better world right here. This is definitely not making a better world. I want to make sure you're saying Moors can't make their own cards, because I always was taught nationality is free and that the card didn't make the Moor. So if you wanted, you could make your own card. I learned that watching your videos. So why is he wrong? Should it have been different, or is it wrong to make your own card? Now, if you're Moor, you're going to use your common sense. And another lesson that is presented is don't recreate the wheel. Why are you recreating the wheel? No, their justification is that, well, there's backlog when we go through them or whatever, so we're just gonna do our own thing. Okay, but this is not doing your own thing because your stuff looks exactly like theirs. So how is that doing your own thing if yours looks exactly like theirs? You're not doing your own thing. You're directly copying. And the statement I made to them is, well, if they're so backlogged, why don't you put your damn gloves on and start helping? Since you know that it's backlog like that. Oh, no, they're not going to want to do that. They'll just do their own thing. And they'll charge whatever, and then people could just go to them. And on the strength of the work that these mothers been putting in for all these years, we're just going to siphon off some energy. We're not going to do our own thing. We're just going to siphon off some of their energy, and then, we'll claim that we're assisting. We're helping in the work that all can do. No, you're not. Not helping. You just saw a money grab. You grabbed. And they did that with the right to travel card too. Right? And there's Malavazara right there telling you, making me confused. Yes, that's exactly what it is that they're doing. Confusing people. It's exactly what they're doing. Confusing. Why are they confusing? I don't know why they're confusing. But that's just not right. That people are going to those levels to justify assisting the Moorish movement. Yeah, that's some Tix vibes. That's definitely some Tix right there. That is definitely some damn Tix. That is some Tix for sure. For sure, that's some Tix. For sure. The problems of life are largely social and economic. In a profound sense, they are moral and spiritual. Have lofty conceptions of your duties to your country and fellow man in general, and especially those with whom you deal. This includes such honesty and righteousness as will cause you to put yourself in the other fellow's place. Look for the best in others and give them the best that is in you. Have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. Yeah, it's deep. But have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. Just have a deeper appreciation than you had. Have a deeper appreciation. You have to have a deeper appreciation. Because always remember where you come from. Brighten the hosts of our youth in order that their courage be increased to dare to do wondrous things. Brighten the hosts of our youth in order that their courage be increased to dare to do wondrous things. Right? No. We want to, I'll just put something else out here. Y'all see in the thing, right? The screen, right? The Soul of Latin America, The Cultural and Political Tradition by Howard J. Wiarda. Rome ruled and dominated Iberia for 6 centuries, the Visigoths for 2 centuries, the Moors for 7. One would assume, therefore, that the Moorish influence in Spain and Portugal would be at least as great as the Roman influence. In fact, the Moorish impact on various fields and lasting over 7 centuries was important. But in terms of the formative and truly lasting influence, the Roman impact was considerably greater and more penetrating than the Moorish one. The Moorish impression on today's Spain and Portugal can be seen visibly in art, architecture, cooking, houses, and language. Moorish art and architecture are present in the intricate designs of the Spanish and Portuguese gold and silver works, in porcelain and in ceramics, and in the delicate columns of minarets
of such former Moorish centers as Toledo, Cordoba, and Granada. But I thought in the formative and truly lasting influence, the Roman impact was considerably greater and more penetrating than the Moorish one. How is it that the Roman impact was greater and more penetrating, but everything that you have is Moorish, not Roman? Drew Ali is the man. He brought us right back to the right. Notice how much times they say Moorish. For all those people, it's a Moorish, and the ish is you can't be Moorish and all that BS. Moorish traces in Spanish cooking are present in such delicacies as almonds, pomegranates, and eggs. Those whitewashed villages glistening in the Mediterranean sun that one sees especially in the south of Spain and Portugal are a reflection of Moorish architecture. And in the language, those words that begin with al are similarly the result of the Moorish occupation. Moorish influence reached deeper than this, however. Through often forcibly kept apart, native Iberian and Moorish people intermixed and produced children of combined ancestry. Some scholars say, in addition, that the Moorish pattern of large extended families and quasi-tribal politics, quasi-tribal, had an enduring effect on Spain and Portugal, although these institutions were present before the Moors arrived. The Spanish traditions of militarism or guerrilla warfare, of admiration for heroic military leaders, of caudilissimo, more similarly bear in part a Moorish stamp. It is also said that Spanish machismo and the subordinate place of women historically in Hispanic society stem from the Moorish occupation, which again, why Noble Drew Ali told Moors have a greater appreciation for womanhood, because your foremothers and forefathers played themselves, and history repeats itself. And as soon as you play subordinate place of woman, look back historically and see where it got you. Adhere at all times to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am your affectionate leader. I shall continue to labor day and night, both in public and private, for your good, thereby contributing to the welfare of our country and its people as a whole. Our country? You really think he's talking about some U.S? He's talking about our country? There's no way he's talking about some U.S. You can't be talking about some U.S. You know that they're playing games. Islam to all the mothers. Thank you for giving us life. Greatly appreciated for giving us life. Yep. Noble Drew Ali is the man. We give honors to the Prophet. honors, supreme honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors. Noble Drew Ali did his job, did whatever it had to be, you know what I mean, at the risk of his own life, that, you know, had this thing locked down on a certain level, like lockdown. And our people played themselves. So don't be in the realm of those that played themselves. Take this information, get it to the young people, especially if you have children. Honest to the Moors in Canaanland, who stepped the hell up and started the Saturday school for the children, because it had to be done, regardless of what, you know, regardless of what, you know what I mean, Moors stepped up. So if you want to step up, if you got any type of finished curriculums, you can send those to canaanlandguide@gmail.com. So if you're homeschooling right now and you're doing something that works and it's assisting your children or the children that you're giving this information to, Canaan Guide, CANAANLAND, canaanlandguide@gmail.com. Send us those stuff so we could take a look at it and start implementing some things, because we have officially started. The Moors are doing what they have to do to assist with saving the nation, starting with the children. And that's not some grand sheik said to do that or whatever. These are just Moors that saw a void and they're filling it. Right? Honest to the mothers that's assisting with that, that stepped up, and they're using whatever, you know, resources that they could get from wherever they could get them to help these children learn about their Moorish culture, so they don't grow up to be anybody's nigger. Right? Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors, anywhere and everywhere you're at. We give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for the great works that he did in getting us out of the dead state. He did great work to get us out the dead state. Great work. And we give thanks. You know what I mean? We just have to give thanks for the work that Noble Drew Ali did, and us being in this place to receive what he did with confidence and exercise it, you know, at the risk of our own life even, you know, just to stress the point to these people that we're not their property. We're not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian, we're not Jew and none of that, black, anything. We're Moors, and you know who we are. You know who we are. Islam to all the Moors that know their self. Once again, Islam to all the mothers. Give thanks for life. You know, the active Moors out here, you can take it from me. The active Moors out here, they're not trying to let you down. Definitely not trying to let you down. They really don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. And don't forget, every Tuesday, 9:30, for all the complainers, hear people complaining about, well, my cards didn't come yet, and I sent them last week. Why is it taking so long and all this? Don't forget, when you keep sending emails and you get the response thing that says, do not reply to this email and all that, it's because people like to play games. So if you're really real, if you really got a problem, right? What you should do, every Tuesday, 9:30, the mothers live, MHHS, eyes wide open, live. The mothers will be live. So live that you can push one and you could talk to them. Guess what you could push one and talk to them about? You could talk to them about your stuff. And then you're going to give your email or something like that, and then they're going to know exactly who you are, know exactly when your stuff came in, know exactly where it's supposed to be going, know exactly what's happened with it or whatever. So when you know that for the past 6, 7 years maybe, you send an email, you're getting the email reply thing. So stop the BS. There's not some stuff they're just doing today. They just started. No. You've been getting the do not reply to this email. Instead of playing recreate the wheel, how about assist in what Moors are already doing? We assist by making sure we let you know every 9:30, Tuesdays, MHHS, eyes wide open. If you don't want to call in, you could listen online, blogtalkradio.com/MHHS-eyes wide open. The boat has left the dock. MHHS. You want to call in, make sure you call in by 9:15 because the show fills up fast. Once it's full, then you're going to be calling over and over and over and over until somebody falls asleep or something like that or whatever drops out till you get a space. And remember, these classes are free, so make sure you go to RV Bay Publications and at least give some of your attention to the website if you're not going to donate some finances or something to assist. Or, find out how you can be the secretary of whatever, or find out how you can do whatever to assist, since you're complaining about backlog and stuff like that. Don't complain and not assist. Oh, it smells like shit in here or whatever, but you're not moving over to flush the stuff. You're just gonna let it stay there where you're complaining. So don't forget, every single Tuesday, 9:30 p.m., you can call in 319-527-6751. 319-527-6751. Peace and love to all the Moors, wherever you're at. khalifamedia.com. You check them out. Also, don't forget, this weekend, we're going to be doing our every Black History Month. Every Black History Month, we go down to the so-called corporate capital called Ottawa. And the Moors out there who've been out there putting in work. Every year, make it manifest. Every year, make it manifest. For us to get in that jurisdiction and do this work that Noble Drew Ali needs us to do. This work that Noble Drew Ali needs us to do. Not doing this for us. We're doing this because this has to be done. It has to be done. It just has to be. So we want to give honors to the Moors out there near Ottawa for putting in the work over the years to always make sure that at this time of year, we're here. And we're here to do this work that Noble Drew Ali wanted us to do, uplift our people. So the Rideau Hub, 815 St. Laurent Boulevard, 815 St. Laurent, Rideau Hub, formerly Rideau High School, Saturday, February 22nd, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Correcting Black History Month, Moorish Our Story, Canaanland Moors near Ottawa, with the Moors of Moorish mindset, 613-700-2722. 613-700-2722. Any, information you want, feel free to give the Moors a shout out. So once again, peace and love to all Moors. We love ourselves some, all Moroccans. Islam Moors.
This is a homage beat.
Hell's hot, but get cold with this winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff, down deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown, but rip, there's more. Think not, you don't know what I'm into, where I'm at. It's all in the mental, smack all instrumentals around me. It's all about my circle squared up, but my nature, fear not. Love, bravery, I'm out. I didn't make her, she made me to create her wealth. The home she in, safe for skin, container, frame, no minor. She a major win, angel and grew up educated on the demons, veiny, scaly wings, angel paper bullshit, and mother for that. Got nothing to back, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the block, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Feel my words, you take it in, hear me speaking out your ear holes. How can you retain a quote? Stop, your brains bang, shot, but still you won't crow. Commander in chief. Master and sheep at the battle, and stay chattel to eat, and wool for my white beats. At times a werewolf, they attack me and turn food towards the garden. Pour water, make a black sea. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black shoe. Black male, black jeans, black news. It's no such thing as black man. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black shoe. Black face, black jeans, black news. But no such thing as a black man. Roses are red, green, gun, copper shot, pop, bust, and he left, didn't leave no weeds, no seeds. I'm a skull and his backbone ripped with his voice tone. Moms are saying a heartbeat, consanguinity though. Got some more bites, now I'm civil. I get you with my pen, no more sword fights or scribbles. Enforcing treaties, I'm a caustic greedy, dressed in costumes to greet me. You think you know how this is gonna end, really? Show the beginning. Apocalypse now, the dead don't know about the living. And why I can't kill them, and why I try to lift them. Stand, more mass don't make you a bigger man. Mental. Just keep going. Black man, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black shoes. Black male, black jeans, black news. It's no such thing as black man. Black male, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black shoes. Black It's black tea, but no such thing as a black man.
We have traveled a long way and have seen many curiosities, but none as perplexing as a planet we stumbled upon called Earth.
I saw a praise of the moon. 1439, who's coming? 1492, please. Time ain't nothing new. A little nut with stage 3, really only 2. Son Sprite say he went there last year. It was past Wednesday at 2:52 afternoon. Son Giant still walking. Seen the EK? End up stay stuck on steel plates. If boys don't wake from the dream state, it's season for the meal. T-Rex for the vet, we take thigh or the heel. Take time, we laugh now. Skip my take. Boys don't wake from the dream state. Season for the meal. T-Rex for the vet, we take thigh or the heel. Take time, we laugh now. Skip my take. Have a field day. Big jaw, stop the 2 feet. Curving the fences. Who's playing with your 2 feet? Parade can't go, give it the 2 keys. 2 elect stepping, each side. Everything jump high to be quick for you. Just stomp. Looking like a 2-cent stamp. Length and width of land of the Nod.
Sons of God and daughters of earth in the flesh. This is no myth, research the legends of Gilgamesh. Preserve human skeletal fossils, surprise. Scientists and archaeologists know all my heads are life-size. Keep my ancestors' giant femur bones in museums. Titans fighting Tyrannosaurus Rex in Greek coliseums. Slap pterodactyls out the air, riding thesaurus. Walking, leaving footprints in granite floors. Advocating for bath, resisting Christian doctrine. First eye high beams when sight is locked in. We are not speaking elephantitis or giantism. Look us up, we found in journals in Hinduism. Similar stories told in multiple cultures. Sumerians 12-foot axes for agriculture. Grapes, 4 in the hand, watermelon size onions. Jack size beanstalks, not Goliath or Bunyan. Mines can't grasp giant Wast and Cyrus. Sidon Trident was fought by 3 giant cyclops. With 1 eye, get your head, sons of man, Heckler. Claiming Canaanite makes us Enoch Nephilim.
A giant's born. Notice that birth within large forms of such a race statues back in the day were actually the norm. Able to perform feats with large blocks of concrete and carving in diorite, ensuring facial features right and heights A+. If bones is what we trust to say dinosaurs exist, then human giants must. A lust for information has encouraged many chasing forms of evidence like ancient documents and footprints. My logic is what makes sense. There's no defense to ideas, just what is not clear. Then I hear that some say it was an exaggerated way in which they were presented. The artist intended simply to represent the personas with the idea of great, and in that endeavor they cleverly chose to elaborate. Rarely invest in the major state perspective and objective. Yes, I think it feel the real and promote proof in our own.
Giants aren't scary. Not even their terrifying leader, a monstrous giant with 2 heads.
Keep reading, Mother. It's just a story.
Is it?